follow the path that empowers you to be your best self. Surround yourself with people who embrace your quirks, who don't settle, who seek a life without regret, who know how to win, but aren't afraid to fail. Be part of an elite network with those who know what success is all about. Be brave enough to have a fulfilled life. Trinity University. Discover, grow, become.
Food insecurity or the inability to get food is a widespread and misunderstood problem.
At Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas, Autumn and I are part of a research team in the Food Matters Lab.
Being able to connect with the community and affect policy as an undergraduate researcher at Trinity has been an unforgettable experience.
Being first-generation college students, the ability to research has given us the ability to explore our individual passions and apply them not only to this research, but life after college.
And he slots it home, and the Tigers get the lead they were looking for. It's 1-0 Trinity.
and welcome to this presentation of Trinity Men's Basketball on the Tiger Network. I'm Sam McCorder, and we are live from newly refurbished CalGuard Gymnasium here in San Antonio. Tonight, the Tigers take on the University of Texas Dallas Comets as a season opener for both teams. Trinity comes into the year hoping to redeem the program. Last year was the third straight year in which Trinity had a below 500 record at 12-14 after Coach Pat Cunningham had none in his first 15 years. Here with Joshua Moxley-Gimma. Josh, a question that I always like to ask coaches before the season opens is, what's different this year? What have you changed? What's different coming in? He said experience. He said they know how to struggle this year. How do you think this is going to play out? It's a very tough team they're facing tonight.
Yeah, so definitely UT Dallas, a team that's been in the playoffs, the last couple of years. And for Trinity, you talk about that experience of returning a senior, junior, and two sophomores, but they also have a first year in Steven Molina who's getting the start today. So I think that it's going to be more of a balance between some of those first years that we saw coming in, as well as those returners that we grew to love last year, especially late in the season when the team started to make that progress, started its turn, and you saw some of that stuff that you were excited for 2017, 2018 for, and we get a chance to start seeing it here live now for the first time.
Absolutely, and especially on the offensive end, both of these teams, we should expect some fireworks. They both score very highly, generally sometimes up into the 80s tonight. That could be something to look for. It's a very tough team to face, though, on opening night for both sides. Can you give us our starting lineups?
All right, we're going to start with the Comets from UT Dallas, and they're going to start off with John Hatcher, Caleb Banks, Matt McCrary, Demetrius Underwood, and Reagan Coe. And then for the Tigers, we're going to go with Steven Molina at guard, Brooks Mays joining him with Matt Jones, Danny Rivera, and Aaron Knopp on the low block. So tip to the Comets, they're in the green with the orange trim, Trinity in the all-white. And start off with Hatcher. Finds the high post over there. Now over to Banks. Tigers in a kind of a half zone, half man, trying to keep it isolated. The 2-3. Shot goes up. Long three from Banks. No good. Rebounded by the Comets. Puts that one back up. Could have been over the back call there, but they're just going to let it go out of bounds, and it'll be Tigers ball. So rough start for the shooting for the Comets, and the Tigers defense not looking too bad. And that was one of the things that we'll have to look at with the experience. And see if that changes from last year. There were a couple of games where the defense let the games get out of hand a little bit. But Pat Cunningham always, defensive-minded in the way that he runs the program. So should see the Tigers return to that defensive front. Tigers working around. That was Molina right there over to Rivera. Not with the short-range jumper, and he buries that. So Tigers one possession, one bucket, and they are out in front early.
And that absolutely looks familiar. That's his spot right there, and really going to have to be careful for UTD not to give the Tigers what they want. If you let that happen, they can go off in a hurry.
Down to the low block. That one's blocked by Molina. So the first year with the block, now he's looking to run. Cuts it under. He's going to have that one turned over. That was Banks on the steal. Now Banks looking to run it back the other way. Rivera tries to play defense there, but wisely pulls off. And that one's going to go in for Banks. Quickly on the other end, Knopp with a miss on the easy layup. And we saw that a bunch last year too. Easy shots not falling. Comets run it back. That's an open jumper for Hatcher. Misses, easy rebound. Rivera is going to let it go, and he'll get credit for the board on that one. And so we saw down there that breakaway could have been 2 points right after the fast break attempt for the Comets. Get those back, but just easy shots just not falling for Trinity. They'll need to turn the corner on those.
Yeah, that was just a missed opportunity right there for the Tigers, just to, go, almost 4 point swing there with the Tigers getting that turnover.
And Matt Jones with the, maybe hesitation jumper pass. Saw Rivera down low, but he was too far underneath for it to be like a scoring opportunity. So
yeah, just worked himself into a corner and had no way out. Guess was looking for a desperation pass for Rivera, but Rivera was not ready for it at all.
So Banks brings it up. That's Underwood now at the top of the key. Looks to go isolation, guarded by Brooks Mays. Kicks it out. That's Hatcher. Back to Underwood, back to Hatcher. Little two-ball action as they kick it back out. And it's going to be Underwood with the jumper. Comets up 4-2. Just over 2.5 into the first half. Rivara runs it back now. Finds Molina, who's going to cut through left side, kicks it out to Mays. Back to the top with Jones. Rivara, free throw line jumper, no good. Rebounded by Kogue. And kick that back out. It's going to make its way back to Hatcher. Banks feeds Underwood, gets the low block presence there, and then the foul over the top. And that's going to be on McCrary from the Comets. Oh, excuse me, they're going to call Underwood. Signal 22. Looked like it probably could have been McCrary, but I guess they got him, instead of over the back, they got him cleared out underneath. So Trinity's all-time assist leader, Matt Jones, bringing it up.
Josh, one of the things we talked about before the game started, we were watching the Comets warm up, and we noticed the size advantage that the Comets have on the Tigers, and I'm wondering if that's going to play a factor tonight.
And you mentioned the size there. That's Dana Rivara. He's one of the low blocks, probably one of the biggest guys on the team for the Tigers, and he takes it about 18 feet outside and buries the jumper. Yeah, size, I think, is really, when it comes to basketball, size isn't really as big of a deal until you get about 30 minutes into a contest. Because then that's where, if you're tired, size is going to beat you down. Jumps out now. Underwood with a mid-range jumper. He knocks that down. So the big shot today so far has been around that 15 to 18-foot jumper. And Sam, that's a lost art, lately in college basketball.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's so weird to see a team take so many of them on both sides and still be pretty efficient offensively. These teams are really good at it, so they take it. It's no different than a three-point shooter who's really good at his craft.
And Kogue with that mid-range jumper. In and out. Rebound. And Knopp with the ball. And Tigers will look to push up a little bit off the near side. It'll be interesting to see what Trinity does this year. If they take as many three-pointers as they did last year. Molina, left-handed shot, free throw line, no good. Underwood with the board. And here's Banks looking to run. Or excuse me, that was Hatcher. Hatcher goes up for the easy layup, and that's wide. Rebounded by Rivara. And now Molina cuts in. Rivara wide open for three.
What a shot.
Man, and if he can add that to his arsenal, he's going to be really, really dangerous.
Banks brings it up. Comets trailing 7-6. This has been a pretty good back and forth game. So far evenly matched from the starting five perspective. And Rivara could have been called for a foul there. They let it go. Bring it back. That's Underwood with the jumper. No good. The ball is going to be kept alive by Kogue. And nice little bit of passing there from the Comets. And that is McCrary with the easy layup and the lead for UT Dallas. That one's going to be off of Mays' foot. Looks to reset, now 10 on the shot clock. And he goes up for the layup. And
questionable no call there.
Yeah, it looked like that was more on the arm, but can't sit on it all day. And they go down, missed the three on the other ends. That was Hatcher, rebound by Rivara. And I'm going to check the stats on Rivara. Yeah, that's 4 boards for Rivara, 6 minutes. Molina 3, no good. And they're going to call underneath and stay right here. That one's going to go against Kogue. And looks like we're going to get timeout on the floor. And so with 13:38 remaining in the first half, let's go ahead and look at that wide open 3 for Rivara. And it's part of his 2 of 3 shooting for 5 points. Mentioned his 4 boards already. So Rivara out in front for the Tigers. He's got 5. Aaron Knopp with 2. And Underwood with 4. McCrary with 2. And Banks with a bucket as well. And that's where we sit. UT Dallas up 8-7 here. And, we talked about that experience, especially in the form of Dana Rivara, proving pretty well for the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, You saw that three-point shot. That's not something he had in his arsenal last year. So we look a year forward. Now that's something that perhaps he's added. Just another thing that the defenses have to think about. And it's that toughness inside that they're really going to be counting on, especially from their starters, because as you go to the bench, obviously every college team, they don't have those big boys up front. So it's going to be really important for him to have that toughness down low, and so far he's had it.
And so that's the first horn there. You're going to ask teams to head back out. And excited to tell you, this is the home opener here for the Tiger basketball team. We're going to jump ahead all the way to the end of the season. You may have noticed one of our football broadcasts this year was aired locally here in San Antonio by Citywide Sports Network. We're also going to do that during the basketball season when we host Shriner towards the end of the season, late February. So looking forward to that one. And we're going to have all the Tiger Network games here for you throughout the season. Matt Cauliflower checks in, receives the inbounds pass. Jaden Holden, Taylor Kim, Brian Bloom joining Matt Jones out on the floor for Trinity. And that's Taylor Kim, the top of the key for three. Goes a little long, rebounded to UTD, and they've also got some substitutions in the game. It's Underwood controlling the dribble now, but Burwitz, Forster, Smith also checked in, so it's Banks, Underwood, Smith, Burwitz, and Forster. And Taylor Kim got tripped up by the official, and you hate to see a guy go down like that. He loses the ball out of bounds. He stepped on the official's foot. And get a good look at that one. You see the steal there from Cauliflower. Gives up to Jones, and right there just caught the back heel of the official as he was trying to run down the side. And
not a good way to start the season, Josh. Injury by the official.
And you feel for Taylor Kim.
Yeah, you check into the game and then check right back out.
It looks like he's able to put some pressure on the leg as he's walking off. I'm sure we'll see him, if not today, pretty soon, because it doesn't look to be too serious.
No, it looks like it might just be a rolled ankle or something like that. Hurts real bad up front, and then it's just a little sore after that.
As anybody who's played basketball probably understands the feeling there. Not sure anybody can go through even a short career playing without rolling an ankle every now and then. Underwood gives now to Forster. Kicks back out. That's Banks for three, no good. Rebound is going to be fought for by Holden, Cauliflower, and Forster. And possession arrow to Trinity. So Holden able to get the turnover for the Tigers. So Trinity 0 points in the last 2 minutes and 17 seconds. As Jones looks to drive in, kicks it out. That's Cauliflower, far side. We talk about guys with nice little mid-range jumpers. Matt Cauliflower Jr. is not one of the nicer ones on the team. It's kicked out. It's Mays for three, no good. Board grab by Forster and brought up by Banks. Underwood feeds Burwitz inside, and he kicks it cross court over to Smith, and Ben Smith with a three for the Comets as their lead now 4, largest lead of the game.
Yeah, a lot of shots like that for him early weren't falling, but if they start falling, it's going to be a rough night for the Tigers. They'll go step slow on defense.
Brian Bloom with the missed three, and the fast break opportunity for the Comets is going to lead to the foul on the other end for Banks. And Matt Jones with his first, and the first on the Tigers. And Dallas has 2 so far in this game. Isaiah Specs will check in, but not before we take a timeout here on the floor. And so first half, just a little bit under halfway. Trinity 0 for its last 5 field goals. Last 3:22 of action, no points.
You see right here, Josh, you'll see that
Underwood.
That last play right there just got him on the arm.
Yeah, and a great job of Matt Jones. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to foul right there and have the guy still be able to get the ball up with the possibility to make an and one situation, get the free point. It's one of those things. You don't want to draw such a hard foul that you have a flagrant situation, but you definitely want to make it to where there is no possibility that he gets that ball anywhere above his shoulders for a shot opportunity.
Absolutely. Just hold your arms over him. Don't do anything too rough, but yeah, absolutely. Don't let him get the ball above his head. That's what you teach the young kids. It's what it should be all the way up.
Well, the Tigers are trailing for the first time all season. This young season,
just 8 minutes and 16 seconds in.
It's good to have basketball back.
Absolutely.
It's good to be back indoors after the rain-soaked NCAA soccer that hopefully you joined us for over the weekend. Trinity took on 2 ASC teams, and I'd like to say good luck to Mary Hardin Baylor as they will advance to the round of 16. Banks knocks down 1 of 2. And speaking of an ASC school, we've got UTD right here. So, for Trinity, it's the conference, American Southwest Conference. We see a lot of those schools in non-conference action, primarily because, in the Northeast, you can travel to about 6-7 states and, still not make it from San Antonio to Dallas. And, for us down here in San Antonio, trying to get, games non-conference is going to require us playing a lot of the American Southwest. So good luck to those guys, and happy to have UT Dallas here. And it's Forster for 3. Off the side of the rim, no good, but it's going to be pulled down by Allen on the rebound, and they're going to reset. And it's going to be a travel on Forster.
And I see that move so often, whether it's in college, whether it's in high school. It looks like we're going to get a replay of it here. What happens is he just puts that foot down and moves it.
Yeah, and
it's travel every time.
It's very subtle.
I've started calling it more in the NBA lately. I've noticed that even the NBA players aren't getting away with it as much as they used to.
Yeah, definitely a point of emphasis for these referees.
Rivara trying to back his way in, and he's going to draw a foul? Goodness.
All right.
Well, Tigers will take that one. That's foul on Berwitz. I'm going to look at the replay here because I didn't see it live. I saw Rivara backing his way in, and it looked like he slipped. If anything, they're going to say, I don't know, he stepped on Berwitz's foot.
I've got no idea.
Tigers got away with one there.
Well, fortunately, you get 5, so it's not an immediate situation for Berwitz. So Tigers working it in. It's Isaiah Specs with the ball. The world-famous Isaiah Specs.
That's right.
And Brian Bloom with the 3. And that ends the run. 4:19 without a bucket. And Tigers are back on the board, now down 12-10.
Yeah, thankfully over that stretch, the defense held up pretty well. So a lot lower scoring than we were expecting.
Just the way Pat Cunningham likes it. And Smith with the 3, no good. That's going to be saved by Forster. Kicked it out. And there's a 3 for Allen. His first shot of the game, and he buries it.
That's something Coach Cunningham's not going to be happy about.
Yeah, but, UT Dallas is doing a really good job with ball movement. And, for the Tigers, they've just got to find a way to get into those lanes. Because right now it's almost like watching the Spurs and a pop-led team here with the passing. Rivara puts one up on a fadeaway. It won't go. Rebounded by Smith. Looks to run the floor. Now over to Allen. He'll pull back, and he gives out to Farrell. Farrell just checking in for the first time. He's got the left-hand dribble, and I'm going to call a block on Mays. And that's one where I could see maybe an arm extended on Farrell, but it's also a call you're going to get called on Mays because Farrell's got the opportunity to drive that bucket, and any type of non-set blockage is going to get you that defensive foul.
Yeah, and if you're Mays, you got to have your hands up. Make sure the official knows that you're not touching him.
And great call there for the over-the-back on Allen. And so Curtis Allen's first foul, and the 4th on the Comets. men's basketball still playing halves. Women have been playing quarters, I think, now for 2 years. And the last conference, they decided to veto the idea to go to quarters. So we'll see halves probably for the next couple of years, I think, maybe in the men's side. And that's Karthik with the running left-hander, and Reddy comes up short on that one. So get back, play defense. Forster for three. Side of the rim, off the glass, no good. Rebound by Reddy. There's Taylor Kim back in the game. Feeling good after he rolled his ankle shortly after checking in the first time. Brooks Mays, nice drive. Brooks Mays with the left-hand run. Lays it up and in. And Curtis Allen with another three. 2 for 2 with 6 points now.
Got to keep an eye on him now if you're the Tigers.
Yeah, and I gotta say, that's impressive. Come in off the bench, knock down 2 threes. It's one thing to start hot. It's another thing to come off the bench and be hot and make it 8. Because he's now 3 for 3 shooting with that mid-range jumper right there. And the lead now 8.
Yeah, confidence looks like it's only growing.
Taylor Kim over to Brooks Mays, trying to drive that left-hander again. Karthik ready for 3. It was long and right. Rebound to the Comets, but they throw it away. Here's Taylor Kim.
Huge advantage here for the Tigers.
Or not, that's going to be off the side, no good.
Had to get something better than that.
Ben Smith. That's a great job there by Ben Smith. Grabbed that ball at the free throw line. Didn't need to put it on the ground. As you put it on the ground right there, that's going to be an in-between shot. Likelihood to miss. And it's a fantastic job to not travel and not lose his composure there on that layup attempt. It was a fantastic job there from Brooks Mays, too. That's not an easy shot, cutting across the entire interior defense right there.
It's a beautiful job finding the seam, dribbling around that inside defender, and then just pivoting right around him, laying the ball up. It's right there. Coach Cunningham, though, right now, not happy, and rightfully so.
You know, some of the things that are positive, though, Trinity holding UT Dallas to 9 of 23 shooting. The problem is that Curtis Allen's 3 of 3. And UT Dallas is 6 of 20 shooting without Curtis Allen. You know, he's bumped their entire team percentage up 9.1%. So it's a fantastic job coming in off the bench. He leads the way with 8 points. 5 points for Smith, and Ben Smith just scored that last bucket there as well. And then the starters, Banks with 3, McCrary with 2, and Underwood with 4. So we look at bench scoring. That's 13 points. The bench has outscored Trinity so far in this game.
Yeah.
So I think what Coach Cunningham might be looking at too is saying, we're going to get the starters back out there with Matt Jones and Molina coming back in, Aaron Knopp in as well. Karthik Reddy and Taylor Kim will join them. So it's a big low post for the Tigers, but it's a small backcourt.
Yeah, going all the way from 5'10" Matt Jones, almost a full foot up to Karthik Reddy, who is, of course, 6'8".
And we got Hatcher, Banks, Allen, McCrary, and Koch on the floor for the Comets. Jones, jumper, off the side, no good. Hatcher back in. Started off 0 for 3 shooting. He was replaced by Curtis. Far side pass. Shot clock down to 7. It's going to be Hatcher for 3. Missed it wide. Now down to 3. Stolen by Jones. He's got a chance to run 2-on-2. Cuts it through. Could have been a foul call there. Isn't. Could have been another foul call. It wasn't. And he makes the layup. So a great job from Matt Jones driving on that interior.
Absolutely great play. Got the steal and the score.
Yeah, and that's your senior taking over and saying, I got this, guys.
Okay, there's a foul. I was like, if they let that one go, I'm not really sure what they're going to be calling the rest of the way. We see Jones with the steal there, and the shot clock was down to 3 at that point, and he comes up. And I think right there just decided it was going to go in no matter what happened.
Yep.
And he did a great job because he cut to the left and then just floated it back up with the right.
And, you know, he could have passed there, but he knew they needed points. And he said, I'm going to go get them.
And that's going to be important for the Tigers because he's done such a great job as a passer, as a point guard. But we've seen him, really elevate his game to being a scorer in the past 2 years. So we got to see what else he has to bring, in his senior campaign. That was kicked back out.
I'm really not loving the zone defense the Tigers are in right now. They just look a step slow on those rotations, and you can't be a step slow in zone.
Yep. And Keogh's the big body down low, and we talked about it we weren't really expecting the big bodies to kind of take over until later in the game when people started to get tired. And we'll have to monitor that to see if that's indicative of what's going to be happening here.
Oh,
and it's
that's
Yancey
travel.
checking in for the game, and he'll travel. So, young first year, first year at Trinity, junior transfer. Junior Nyland Yancey.
Just one too many steps right there. Turns the ball over to the Comets.
Yeah, worked himself into a corner with that step back and didn't have anywhere to go. That's going to stay UTD Comet ball. Hatcher's going to bring it in.
So UT Dallas with the extra pass, it seems like, on every possession. They kick it out. They find Banks in the corner. So a little short. Tipped, saved by Yancey, and then rebound to Keogh, and then it was stolen away by Molina. It's not every day that the guard steals the ball. And what a play by Molina, saving that one from going out of bounds. Jones for 3. No good. The offensive foul on Reddy, or the loose ball foul on Reddy. So I was going to say, it's not every day that you see the guard go up and steal the ball away from the forward here. That's exactly what Molina does. Just gets in there and just rips it away.
I love that tenacity from the young kid. Love it.
We got substitutions coming in. And so Demetrius Underwood goes in for Curtis Allen. Curtis Allen now 3 for 4. Missed a shot in that last run. Goes over to Underwood. Kicks it back out top. Key Banks. Pulls the jumper. Long. Yancey has Reddy. Back to Yancey. The scoop and under, no good. Rebound by Bloom, and he's going to be fouled there by McCrary. It should be McCrary's second. Send Bloom to the line.
Number 20, Matt McCary. That is his first. Team foul number 5.
Another thing the Tigers need to do a better job of is this transition offense.
Yeah, not a lot of spacing on that opportunity for Yancey, allowing the defense just collapse in on him.
Not a lot of fast break points for the Tigers either.
Yeah. And it looked like he probably should have tried to control the dribble more on that one before giving it up to Reddy. Reddy, low block presence down there. Probably not going to be the ideal guy that you want to give it to on the break.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 or 3 dribbles deeper, then make the decision. Don't make it when the defense doesn't even know where it's going to be yet.
And I said earlier that was McCrary's second. That was his first. There was one that was given to Underwood to start the game that I thought was on McCrary. I gave it to Underwood, so first on McCrary. And Tigers down 8. Rivera. Now Molina. And Molina and Rivera led the way in the exhibition match at Incarnate Word. But so far, Molina, no points here in the first half. I was hoping that would segue to his first points. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case as he misses the 3 there. And working around the top are the Comets. And that's Underwood. Kicks over. Wide open is Banks. Underwood, elbow shot,
Oh, man.
good.
You know, there are just so many open shots for UTD. I'm starting to wonder if it, you know, Allen wasn't maybe just the guy. It was just whoever was going to step up and make some.
I believe that was Bloom on the quick transition. No, they're going to give it to Molina. Beg your pardon. They were both right there. I didn't see who shot that. So Molina's first official points as a Tiger. That one underneath. Layup no good. And McCurry's shot's going to be rebounded with authority there by Rivera. And Jones gives that one away. And now it's going to be a foul on, I believe, Jones. Yep. No. Yancey's going to get the foul from behind.
I do love the adjustment, Josh, from UTD. They are just selling out on transition defense. They knew they weren't going to win the rebounding battle, and now they're just out.
And a great little shot there for Molina's first bucket as a Tiger. So Molina from Antonian here in San Antonio. 6'2" guard.
Yeah, this is a kid that scored a ton at Antonian College Prep. Really good player.
Yeah, he scored 15 against Division I Incarnate Word on the exhibition on Monday night. And so that's, you know, good signs for the youth here. A lot of first years on this roster.
Yeah, even though we're a year older, it's still a pretty young team as it goes. So if you're just joining us here on the Tiger Network is the student-run, campus-wide production network for all Trinity athletics, special events, lectures, commencements, basically anything that is live-streamed on campus goes through Tiger Network.
Yeah, and we'll have the Christmas concert coming up in December 1st.
That's a crowd favorite. Usually sells out pretty quickly. So it's free to attend, but
free to attend.
Every year there's overflow. Every year. So if you plan on going, get there early. If not, you can sit at home by the fire and watch it on Tiger Network.
One's always been a big hit with the alums. And back to live action. It's Forster, top of the key. Now Underwood. Molina with the intense defense. Underwood up over Rivera, tries the glass, no good. Rebounded by Bloom as he just swatted that straight down to Jones. And Jones looks to run. Mays kicks out to the far side. Mays, Bloom for three. Won't get it, and they're going to say he was pushed. So Matt Jones draws the foul underneath. That one's going to go on Banks. And Trinity.
Yeah, that was really an unnecessary foul right there. I mean, Banks was out of position, or Jones was out of position. He didn't really have a shot on the ball. Unnecessary foul by the Comets.
Team foul number 6. That leads to another shot there from Molina, and he knocks
I love that
down.
play.
And that is a sweet-looking shot right there. And that's a shooter shot, too.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And if he can bring that extra element to this Tigers offense, that might be the thing to round it into form. Yeah, I was watching him in warm-ups, and he must have made 14 shots in a row without missing from the baseline. I mean, it was beautiful form. We were setting up here for Tiger Network, and I just couldn't take my eyes off it. It was beautiful.
The illegal screen, and you know, we got the new digital scoreboards here in the newly renovated CalGuard Gymnasium. And the one thing I miss is the old scoreboards had who the last foul was on. We'll have to go to the stat sheet as soon as it populates up and let you know who that one was on. It was on Keogh. And so he checks out. Rebound goes all the way to Underwood. So he fights off Mays. Got a chance to run a little bit as Mays gets back into the picture. And Burwitz up and under, and he'll draw the foul and go to the line for 2. Coach Cunningham's trying to explain that he moved his original pivot foot.
Oh, he's absolutely right, too. That's a shame.
I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. We got just over 100 of you guys right now live. We appreciate that. We got a pretty good crowd here, too, for the home opener. The student section mostly filled in. And then on the side where you can't see, the near side, it's pretty much full all the way except for right behind the Comets bench. Brooks May's shot won't go. And the last time he played a team from Dallas, he knocked down a 40-footer at the buzzer to win. Turnover will go to the Tigers. And that was a conference game against the University of Dallas.
The Tigers here just seem like, the Comets seem like every time they get a big lead, the Tigers just stay right with them. Don't let them pull away, and that's something you really want to see late here in the first half.
Yeah, the biggest lead's been 10 a couple of times. We're currently at 7, and that was going to be saved in by Rivara over to Jones. They've got a chance to cut this to 5 here before the end of the break. Reddy comes underneath. Rivara loses it. Reddy.
Molina right in the corner.
Adam. But Reddy's shot no good, but rebounded by Matt Jones, who was just kind of hanging out underneath on the low block. And a 5-point game here right before the half. Should be the final possession as the shot clock is off.
Yeah, UTD had an opportunity to just shut that down and couldn't do it. Matt Jones underneath, sneaking in.
So we'll see that. Reddy found the cutting Rivara, who just couldn't quite get his complete grasp on it. And then Reddy just a little bit off the mark. And Jones was able to clean that up and cuts the lead to 5. And for Trinity, that's a pretty important part right there, because the closest they had been since then was 18-12 when they were down 6. And that was back when Curtis Allen was knocking down all of his three-pointers and his jumper, right in his 8-0 personal run.
Yeah, Jones has been a really key player for the game so far to keep the Tigers in it, really just battling. He's got a quiet 15 points, but he's really been doing some of the things you don't see on the scoreboard. I mean, he's been picking up steals, rebounds. You see him down there in the low post. I mean, he's not a tall guy, but he's down there fighting with the bigs, and that's something you want to see against these big Dallas Comets.
Yeah, he's really outworking them, and really that's what it comes down to in the end.
One of the things that I know Coach Cunningham is going to talk about at the halftime is rebounding.
And that's a dagger of a shot there for Hatcher as he knocks down the 3 right at the buzzer. That's going to push the lead to 8. So Coach Cunningham and Coach Burt, Coach Smith, Coach Citron will go into the locker room and see what the Tigers can adjust. And just big-time shot there by Hatcher.
Nothing you can do about it.
Those types of shots are the ones that, when you get late into the game and about 2 minutes left and everything else, those are the types of shots you go back and you think about, like, those were key shots. So at the end of 1, the Comets from UT Dallas 30, Trinity 22. You're watching the Tiger Network, and we'll be right back after a short break.
Follow the path that empowers you to be your best self. Surround yourself with people who embrace your quirks, who don't settle, who seek a life without regret, who know how to win, but aren't afraid to fail. Be part of an elite network with those who know what success is all about. Be brave enough to have a fulfilled life. Trinity University. Discover, grow, become.
Food insecurity or the inability to get food is a widespread and misunderstood problem.
At Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas, Autumn and I are part of a research team in the Food Matters Lab.
Being able to connect with the community and affect policy as an undergraduate researcher at Trinity has been an unforgettable experience.
Being first-generation college students, the ability to research has given us the ability to explore our individual passions and apply them not only to this research, but life after college.
And he slots it home. And the Tigers get the lead they were looking for. It's 1-0 Trinity.
Follow the path that empowers you to be your best self. Surround yourself with people who embrace your quirks, who don't settle, who seek a life without regret, who know how to win, but aren't afraid to fail. Be part of an elite network with those who know what success is all about. Be brave enough to have a fulfilled life. Trinity University. Discover, grow, become.
Food insecurity or the inability to get food is a widespread and misunderstood problem.
At Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas, Autumn and I are part of a research team in the Food Matters Lab.
Being able to connect with the community and affect policy as an undergraduate researcher at Trinity has been an unforgettable experience.
Being first-generation college students, the ability to research has given us the ability to explore our individual passions and apply them not only to this research, but life after college.
And he slots it home. And the Tigers get the lead they were looking for. It's 1-0 Trinity.
And welcome back to Trinity University. As you see a little bit of the halftime entertainment, the Prowlers dance team. Take you through the first half recap here for Trinity, leading the way were Jeff Bloom and Danny Rivara with 5 points each. Stephen Molina with 4, Brooks Mays and Aaron Knapp with a bucket. There's also Matt Jones with 4 points, 22 total for the Tigers. And on the other side for the Comets, leading the way was Curtis Allen with 8 points. Underwood had 6, and Ben Smith with 5. And Hatcher and Banks with 3 each. And a bucket for Keogh, and Burwitz had a free throw.
And Josh, something you notice going through those stat sheets, UT Dallas, they've played that many players, only 2 have not scored. They're getting good shots for all of their players. It doesn't matter where they are on the floor, who's shooting it, and there's another one.
So that's back-to-back three-pointers, and the Tigers had cut the lead to 5. Now it's out to 11. So we talked about that 3 from Hatcher right before the end of the half and said those are the types of shots that kill you, and that's exactly why. It's a huge swing in momentum. Rivara for 3, short, rebound, almost grabbed by Brooks Mays, but it is taken by Banks up ahead to Hatcher. And the late call on Jones. And I'm going to say he came over the top of him.
Yeah,
I don't dislike the call. I don't like it when it's that late. Like there was almost momentum going back the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
he
that was
definitely
a foul.
fouled him, yeah.
No, it was a foul for sure. Really a bad decision just to bail Hatcher out of where he was. He was in such an awful position. I mean, hands straight up in that situation, you might not even have to contest. You might just miss that.
Yeah, it definitely was going to take almost a change in midair for him to get a good look at the basket. And he puts in a pair, and that lead now stretched even further now, 13.
Big swing.
So that's a huge swing. That's an 8-0 run from the time when Matt Jones put the tip in back. Molina gives it up. Tigers working. Trying to go to the low block, finally do. Rivara's been swinging high post. Shot clock's running down. Rivara inside, goes off the glass.
Good move.
And Danny Rivara, 7 points. Seven points and 6 boards for Rivara.
One of the biggest reasons the Tigers are still in this ball game.
Something the Tigers did well last year was when they were down early, they found ways to come back, or even if they were down late, they found ways to come back, make the game competitive, even take the opportunity to win the game. It'll be interesting to see if they can carry that forward this season. I mean, core group of guys are still together. The Tigers didn't lose that many guys to graduation.
Yeah, just 2, and of those 2, not a significant amount of minutes from last year. Snap drives.
I mean, that's a lot of experience on this Tiger bench.
That one didn't hit the rim, so that's going to be a shot clock violation. But I think what they're going to argue is even if it didn't hit the rim, I think there may have been a change of possession with Dallas.
It doesn't look like the refs are going to be sympathetic.
They're not going to give it to him either way. Like, I don't think it hit the rim when Brooks drove. But even beyond that, I thought that UT Dallas at least had the ball in their possession for us, what would consider to be the change. Took a step with it before he lost it. But not the case. Shot clock now down to 12 for the Comets. Underwood puts it up. No good. Rivara almost drops it in for him. Tigers on the run. And offensive foul on Matt Jones. And those are just mental mistakes right there.
Yeah, that's awful.
It's a mental mistake, and also I think it's a fundamental mistake right here because you're going to see Molina top of the screen here, and Molina's going to be wide open.
Yeah.
And
I don't know about that one. That was a.
I think, but on a breakaway like that, I think the one thing you can't do is you can't even come close to contact like that. It's just one of those things. I think the defender's going to get that call 9 times out of 10 after the guy's already dished the ball away.
And again, the bigger issue with that is that you're on a fast break. you're 3-on-2. You have to find the open man. You can't just pass it to the guy that's right in front of you. You have to make an impact on those plays, and those are the ones that swing the game away from you, not towards you.
Yep. And Molina misses there for 3. Now back out to Jaden Holden for 3. He knocks that down. And we saw a bunch of that last year. Jaden Holden, fresh off the 10-game stint with the football team. The senior comes up big again. We saw that a bunch last year. There were a couple of games that Holden took over in the middle of conference play.
Yeah, he's got a smooth stroke. You can't let him get too hot.
Hatcher for 3 again. Knocks down another. That's 6 points for Hatcher.
You could say the same about that young man. He is a streaky scorer, and when you let him get going, he can just put up the points in bunches.
A senior from Keller, Texas. Knocked down his last 2 shots. And VAR is now stuck. Got to find something. Molina. The Tigers just look a little bit out of sorts. Just the positioning's not well. Matt Jones makes that happen on the mid-range jumper, but just the overall spacing of the offense isn't there. The fluidity is gone. They're scoring. They've cut the lead back down to 9, but it looks haphazard.
Yeah, it does, and they're not seeing a lot of player movement away from the ball.
Knopf with the big block. Retain possession
block.
for the Comets.
Take a look at this block on the replay, and you'll see he just had great position to make the play.
And Banks did a great job feeding the ball in, but Keogh I think Keogh's biggest problem there is he tried to bring the ball back behind his head, and I think it's because he was so far underneath the basket. There was really only one thing he could do with it, is try to twist his way up and in.
Yeah, in that situation, you really have to go for the reverse under the basket and up. Otherwise, you're in danger.
Kick out. There's John Hatcher's 3 again, and that was the second of the game.
And that was some great defense played by the Tigers there. Came up a little short.
Yeah, he's got a hand in his face there, and I mean, that's kind of been consistent with him. It doesn't really matter. Either he's going to have a game where he's going to go 0 for 4, and there's nothing that the defense matters about it. He could be wide open on all his looks, or he's going to go 3 for 5, and again, there's nothing the defense can do about it, whether you're in his face or you're 20 feet away.
So if you're just joining us here on the Tiger Network, this is the Trinity Tigers men's basketball team home opener. The first game they played, and we're opening up the CalGuard gym after some renovations. You can see right there in the middle of your screen, new court, new logo. The Bell Center here at Trinity is currently finishing up renovations. The students are going to have a really great multi-purpose workout facility room that's going to really just transform the lower side of lower campus. So if you're an alumni watching in and you haven't been to campus in a while, I'd encourage you to get back as soon as possible and just see the incredible things that are happening here at Trinity.
Banks from the NBA 3, no good. That one's saved down by Patterson. And Kobe Patterson, first year, checking in for the first time. That's Holden. Oh, jumper, no good. Right out to Rivara. Rivara kicks it across to Kobe Patterson. Shot clock down to 20. Rivara takes a look. It's Patterson. Jones. Jones looks to drive. Holden on the inside. He puts it up. No good. Rebound, Keogh. Passes out. Now Banks has a chance to run. Continues the run. Kicks it out. Hatcher for 3 again. Short. Rebound, Holden. And Tigers have a 4-on-1.
Wow.
And off Bloom. Ooh. That looked like it was off Bloom's leg after the reach-in. So either he didn't call the foul for the reach-in or couldn't completely tell. You see a nice job by Holden here leading the break.
What a fancy move.
Behind the back dribble. You know, and I think it's got to be tough for a wide receiver on the football team to go to basketball. he tries not to put the ball on the floor for 3 months, and then has to come over here and remember to dribble, and then has handles like that.
And he doesn't really get a break either. There's really no off season for him. He goes from one locker room to the next, just a matter of days.
Yeah, last Tiger football game was, 4 days ago.
Yeah, when the basketball team had media days for the start of the season, he was actually at football practice. And so they had to delay the start of media days for him so he could finish up practice before the Tigers' last football game.
So Kobe Patterson on the foul, fighting over there with, what was that?
Foul is on number 31, Kobe Patterson is first. Team foul number
Pardon me, that's Burwitz.
So Isaiah Specs is back in the game. A little trivia for you guys. You can play along with us at home if you're watching, and you might know the answer. Tweet at us at Trinity_U. What is Isaiah Specs famous for? What? I know you know, Josh.
I do, and
Interested to see if some of our viewers at home can chime in. If you got the right answer, maybe we'll send you a garden flag, Trinity garden flag. Let us know what Isaiah Specs, number 11 right there, the center of your screen, what he's famous for.
yeah, and just recently as well, in the past year.
Nice hint.
So Banks was fouled on the three-pointer. Was first, got the second, and on the finale here in just a second. Curtis Allen's going to check back in.
Yeah, and that one's on Kobe Patterson and just ran right through the shooter there. Just got to keep your head about you.
Yeah, for Patterson now 2 fouls, both of them occurring on that possession. Really
Yeah.
keeping that alive.
You know what? He's a freshman. It's all right to have mental mistakes. You just got to be careful about when you make them.
Yep. Specs with the isolation dribble now goes in. Kicks out for Brooks Mays. Spins around. Cross it back over. It's Matt Cauliflower checking back in. 6 on the shot clock. Cauliflower puts it on the ground. Little left-hand floater short. No good. Rebound Underwood. And Demetrius Underwood's got options. And decides to keep it, and he's blocked out of bounds by Brooks Mays. Fantastic job on defense there for Mays, getting back and just we're deflecting this ball a little bit. I do like that Demetrius Underwood just took that straight to the basket. You've got to try to create something on a situation like that. There's Curtis Allen. I believe he's still the leading scorer in the game. 8 points. Had all those on 3 straight possessions. That one's in and out. And a foul is going to be on Underwood as Cauliflower hits the deck. That's a rules of basketball foul. Like, you probably don't call that a foul, but if you don't call that a foul, you have to call that a travel. And there's no way you call that a travel on Cauliflower.
Yeah.
So it becomes a foul.
Yeah, it's one of those tough situations that we put referees in where we say, do you honor the spirit of the game or do you honor what's technical?
Yep. That's why you get multiple fouls. You know, because I figure, you're probably going to have one called against you that maybe shouldn't be. Banks, Underwood, goes up for the dunk, and it's blocked by Bloom, but he got him with the body. And I think he got him with the arm underneath on the rib area, looking at it live. As we see it here. Yeah, just kind of got into his midsection there with his body. I think that's what they're going to call.
The officials are calling a pretty consistent, tight game.
For Trinity, no points in the last 3 minutes, and for UT Dallas, no field goals in the last 3:48. They've gotten quite a few points at the line, though. And there's 2 more for Underwood. Lead stretched to 14, largest of the game.
Yeah, I think the Tigers really need to create some offense on this possession. And
the block foul called. It's Burwitz again. And, yeah.
Yeah, I got to see where his feet were.
he was still moving.
A little shuffle.
He was moving
A little
there.
shuffle. I don't know if it was so much the feet moving. It looked like he brought his arms down just at the very last second there.
Yeah, he didn't make that decision ahead of time, I can tell you that.
And so Bloom at the line. And we're going to clean up the floor real quick, though.
Tigers down by 14, and I think one of the biggest keys to that stat is that the Tigers really aren't doing very well on the boards. They're getting out-rebounded by 11 rebounds, the Comets, and I think that right there is probably your differential in the score.
Yeah, that and shooting 28% from the floor, that's not going to help you out.
That is not going to get the job done, absolutely not.
Good grief.
Yeah, and, UTD's shooting just 34%, but it feels like in games like this, when you shoot high 20%, it's 34% feels like it's a mountain to climb against. And, it's a 12-point lead. Not that big of a lead in basketball, but it's also a third of your points that you've already scored. So, Ben Smith, top of the key. He's being guarded by Isaiah Specs. Taylor will have to let us know if we've gotten a correct answer on Twitter yet. Ben Smith knocks down into 3, and he's now got 8 points. He's tied with Underwood and Allen with 8 points. Hatcher's bumped his way up to 11. Specs drives hard off the glass in the back of the rim, and the foul on the breakaway. That's frustration right there. I think Trinity's starting to get a little bit out of sorts.
Yeah, still no correct answers about our Isaiah Specs trivia question on Twitter. If you want to throw us some more guesses, at Trinity_U is our Twitter handle. We'd also just love to know where you're watching from. We know a lot of our alumni tune in the Tiger Network from overseas. We heard some Tigers were watching from Ecuador on Sunday night. And some of our Tiger faithful watch from England. So if you're watching, just let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching from San Antonio, wherever. And also let us know what you're watching on. Tiger Network is available on all your connected devices, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Just search for Trinity University in those respective app stores, and you'll find our Tiger Network app that you can stream all the games from right on your connected TV.
And if you're scoring the game at home, that's a bucket for Isaiah Specs on the goaltend. And that is basically because, who was that? Was that Burwitz? Burwitz just went up and slapped the glass as that ball was still rolling around. And Specs missed the up and under pretty badly there, but the slap of the glass is the goaltend. And, Taylor, you were sending out our thanks to everybody for tuning in. And if Lynn Turner's listening, we'd like to say thank you and hope you're doing well. And of course, familiar with the basketball team, has been great for sports information. He was a vital part of the teams back in the day, and taking some of those early stats down, helping out with the history of the program, and helping us with getting all those records logged in. And he's been fantastic with us for Tiger Network. And so I'd like to say thank you.
So we'll give you a hint, Isaiah Specs trivia. Call it the Tiger Network trivia question. Isaiah Specs has a unique relationship with a certain Texas fast food restaurant.
And the beef really came to head with Taylor Kim, who's from California, who is very insistent that Isaiah is completely wrong with what he chooses here. So we're under 11.5 to play, 13-point game. Ben Smith kicks it out. That was Farrell. Just checked back in. Burwitz trying to post up underneath. That one's going to be taken. It's Molina on the run. Left-hand scoop. Nice job, Stephen Molina.
I love that he took it himself.
You know, you see it in the NBA. You know, everybody makes the fast break layup look so easy. It's not that easy of a shot. It's supposed to be easy. People think about it, and Molina did a great job there, especially with where he took off from.
Yeah, and that was exactly what the Tigers needed right there. Get some offense, going. Get a stop on defense.
Ben Smith, corner three at the buzzer. Huge shot for the Comets. Corner three.
Comets answer right back.
I feel like every time we've said, fantastic job by the Tigers, and there's Specs driving the lane. Every time we said great job by the Tigers, the Comets have just come down and just buried a three. Burwitz kicks out. Now it's Allen again. It's tied with Hatcher for 11 points. Top of the key three, no good. Rebound. It's going to be kept alive, and it's going to be Comets ball. Rivaro check back in. Come up, we'll have a seat.
Well, let's take a look at that Isaiah Specs. Just great penetration into the lane to score for the Tigers.
Yeah, biggest change I've seen in Tigers offense these last two possessions is just aggression. If there's even a little bit there, they're going to go after it now, and that's something that had been sorely lacking. They've been kind of doing everything without intention.
Kicked out Underwood for three. In and out, no good. Rebound ready. And that's a huge break for Trinity. That one was halfway down before it bounced back out, and Demetrius Underwood's going to get called for the reach-in. And that's a break there for Trinity, because if that foul's not called, he's probably got a clear path to the lane for a dunk. Third foul on Underwood. Forster's going to check back in for Farrell. And Karthik ready, baseline. Can't find anybody, loses it. Burwitz now up ahead to Smith. They've got the break, and he puts it up with the right hand on the up and under, and he gets hit by the rim. Now Trinity with the way back. Rivara comes up a little bit short and right. And
I think he might have gotten a hand on that shot there.
A little bit of a
the
tip.
Comets defense to stop the Tigers' fast break transition there.
The Tigers' defense has been playing well. You look at that last play. Smith had basically a wide open look at the three there, but I think Trinity realizes what they're trying to do is pull everybody out so that they can feed it down low, and they'd cut off that passing lane.
Yeah, not overextending that zone defense is going to be key for them, especially if they do end up just a half step late. If you're going to be a half step late, just stay back. Make sure you keep the integrity of the zone.
So we have a correct answer to our Tiger Network trivia question of the night.
All right.
At Owens MP tweets at us and says, Specs is famous for his Whataburger wrap, and TU is missing an inside game. So two correct answers on that tweet.
That tweet, and there's still a little bit over 8.5 minutes left to go. Trinity still has time to find that inside game, and Whataburger's open 24 hours, so you still got plenty of time to get there. Molina kicks it out for three. That one's no good. Rebound by Burwitz. And one of the things that could help Trinity establish an inside game is if they can start knocking down some of their long-range jumpers. Because right now there's no reason for UTD to even just come out and contest at this point. Ben Smith knocks down another three, leads 17. I can say this one's starting to get away from Trinity. Holden. Shot no good there from Rivara. Rebound Burwitz.
That was just rushed. You know what I mean? He had a short guy coming at him. He didn't have to rush it. There's no contest on that from a guy that's maybe 6 feet. Shoot over him.
Trinity won this game by about 20 last year up in Richardson. And the Comets looking to return the favor here. And that's going to be a foul. And Molina is looking a bit surprised by it. It's going to be on Jones. I think Jones just gave him a little bit of an extra shove as he was going a little bit towards the basket there.
Looked like it was going to be an if he missed foul.
Yeah, and it was one of those where Jones, I think he reached in and then immediately threw his arms down. And so it looked like he didn't make the foul, but I think the reach was the initial contact that got him off his balance. You know, we talked about this potentially being a high-scoring game. Not necessarily the case here. You know, we've watched for 32 minutes and change, and I don't think it's been because we've seen fantastic defense on both ends. I think it's just been a little bit of a lack of early season shooting. There are some shots that Trinity, I feel like, has maybe forced a little bit, as you were mentioning earlier, Sam. But for the most part, it's just been, right now for Trinity, they're being out rebounded 38-27. The turnovers haven't been a huge deal. Those are pretty even. In years past, we'd always look at a turnover differential, but I almost feel like when you miss this many shots, they start to become like turnovers, especially when you're taking 4 shots quickly.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and it just builds. You start off with a little bit of a cold streak, and then the longer it goes on, you just feel like there's no offense coming the rest of the game, and it just builds on itself because then you start forcing more shots. And what they really need to do is just get the best shot every possession and also get a shot from a guy you want it from. Don't let somebody who's not comfortable with a shot from the left block take a shot on the left block. Make sure you've got the people in their spots, get the ball to them there, and see what you can make happen.
Absolutely. Matt Jones fouled Caleb Banks on that one. Banks drops down 1 of 2, and Jones sits down with 4 fouls. Brooks Mays loses that one out of bounds. They're going to give the ball to Trinity.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to see replay to be sure, but from what I could see, that's definitely out on him.
Yeah, it was definitely. And a foul on Curtis Allen. And
yeah, let's check that replay for the.
Yeah, because they definitely took the ball away from him, but he definitely touches it there and slaps it out of bounds.
Yeah, I think that was just a missed foul call there. I think the official should have called a foul, but
14 on the shot clock. Molina sits, drives, shoots, comes up short.
All right.
Looked like he got the ball, but maybe got a little bit of the wrist.
Yeah, a little bit of the shooting arm.
That's what I got to assume happened. See him go up. Yeah, on the replay, I'm not seeing it entirely.
Yeah, there was definitely daylight in between the arm and the hand, so I think the Tigers are I'm not going to argue with that call.
Yeah, for Allen, he now has 3 fouls, along with Underwood. Foul trouble for the Comets. And just Jones with 4 for the Tigers. As you mentioned earlier, it's been a pretty well officiated game to this point.
Yeah, consistent. I think that's the best word to describe it. You can't have your officials be perfect, but you can have them be consistent, and that's really what you're after.
Yeah, and especially if you're a player. That's the one thing you want is just be consistent. Burwitz makes the nice save, and then lost out of bounds. It's going to go off Hatcher. He was fighting for it down low.
Yeah, and Trinity can use all the possessions they can get at this point. So, whether it was off him or not, this is something Trinity needed.
Yeah. Down 16, the biggest thing they can do now is start to play really good defense. Obviously they're going to have to start knocking down shots, but at this point, if you can't play defense, little to no hope. And offensive goaltending on Knop, and he knows it. And that takes away the first basket for Patterson. And so stays off the score sheet. And it was almost instantaneous. As soon as he pulled that netting down, he knew it.
Yeah. It's the worst when you make a mistake and you know you've made a mistake.
Yeah, officially goes into the box score as a missed shot, too. So a little bad luck there for Patterson. Hatcher kicks it over Ben Smith. It's that Comet bench that has just been fantastic tonight. Led by Curtis Allen and Ben Smith off scoring. And Ben Smith leading all scorers with 14 points in this game.
Legal screen.
So Burwitz gets the foul again, and that's his third.
I was trying to bury his man down low, but did it a little too quick.
Isaiah Spexan for Trinity.
Cauliflower to Mays. Specs just checked in. Got Bloom and Molina. There's Cauliflower up and under. Is blocked by Keogh. Hatcher looks to run, finds Banks, pulls it back out. Forster drives, and a blocking foul on Cauliflower. I don't know about that one. It's one of those fouls where, Cauliflower's not set. But at the same time, Forster is so out of control with what he's trying to do that, it should just be a no call. He's not going anywhere. It's just one of those things.
I mean, these officials have actually called a pretty fair game both ways. They've been pretty consistent in their calls. I mean, that's something that we've seen on both sides of the floor. So,
yeah, I think you just have to kind of learn the officials' tendencies. I think in a normal game, you say, yeah, that's a no call. But in this one, you just got to be more careful.
Forster knocks down the first, misses the second. Molina brings it up for Trinity, down 17. Just under 6 to play in the game. It's Mays, top of the key, loses it, gets it back. And Mays looking for the foul call. Might have a case. And Hatcher and Underwood with a little bit of miscommunication. Ball back to Trinity. Matt Jones and his 4 fouls will check back in. He's got to be careful here.
Yeah, it looked like Cunningham was telling Mays he was coming out exactly because he didn't pass the ball out of that. And, Cunningham's got a point there. You got 3 guys in the lane. There's one of you. Somebody's open.
Specs just inside the 3. No good. Rebound, Forster. Banks will bring it across the line. And I like what UTD is doing here. Ball control. Great job of passing. Find their way inside. Use up all of that shot clock that they can. Find an open jumper. Even if they missed a shot, they're up 17, so they've got a chance to waste a few. Quickly on the other side, Molina for 3. I like the shots that he's been taking. They just haven't been falling. And, when you've got a shooter like that, a guy who's used to shooting, a bad shooting night, you'll take those. And what you want to see is a guy that's able to find shots, make shots. And he's been able to do that. That one's going to be off Molina, out of bounds, so he'll stay with UTD. And Patterson will check in for Molina.
yeah, I think with about 4.5 minutes left in the game, the Tigers really need to start finding something offensively to get back in this game. At least make the score a little bit closer.
Yeah, I tell you what, if Tigers aren't within 10 in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, things are going to be looking pretty grim.
Bloom, NBA 3, side of the rim, no good. Rebound, Underwood.
And, Specs there had a great shot at the rebound, but the height advantage for in the inside game for the Comets has just been really tough for the Tigers tonight.
So double bonus now for the Comets. So Forster's going to go to the line. And I don't think this is intentional here. But if UTD can't make free throws, they're 13 of 17 so far, so they've done a great job. But if they, for whatever reason, can't make free throws down the end, you might be with us for a while. This might turn into a strategy down the rest of the way.
Yeah, and specifically Forrester, freshman, a little bit of a big spot, season opener, being put on the line. I don't know, is he going to stay in the lineup? I think probably he's going to come out, unless he can knock him down like that.
Now 4 of 6 on the day at the line. And he's got all 4 of his points from that spot. Specs crossed him up.
Absolute beautiful move.
And he
Just
couldn't finish
there, yeah.
And Banks with the run. Patterson, that's going to be a foul, and he's got to be careful. 'Cause that could turn into a flagrant. And I say it could turn into a flagrant because it's sort of last man back, and if Banks is out in front of him, then
And Specs with that head fake.
it was a good looking jumper too. Just couldn't get it to fall.
Yep.
So once again, thank you guys for joining us on the Trinity University Tiger Network. Tiger Network is a student-run production that brings you all kinds of activities on the Trinity campus, from athletics to lectures, special events, graduation, commencement. You know, in just a couple weeks, we're going to have the Trinity University Christmas concert. It's a pretty special performance. It's kind of like Trinity's gift to the community at the holidays.
And we got all those special events, and we also, you can catch us Monday through Thursday, and right around the middle of the day there. You can catch on, is it Thursdays for you, Sam, on End Zone?
Well, we've got Wednesdays at 5 we go live, and you can catch us anytime on Vimeo, though. But yeah, Wednesdays at 5 we go live. We'll be talking about sports on Trinity's campus, what happened, what might happen, and then we'll be talking also about what's going to be happening in the world of sports, the NBA, the NFL, the MLB. You can catch all your sports news on End Zone Wednesdays at 5.
Yeah, and you can catch that on the Tiger Network as well. As we fortunate to stream that out as well. Banks at the line, knocks down the first.
Yeah, Trinity University has Tiger TV, which is another student-run organization that is a pretty special and unique opportunity for students here on campus. They've got a bunch of different shows that you can also watch live on the Tiger Network, live.trinity.edu, like Just said, Tuesday through Friday.
Oh, Tuesday through Friday.
Tuesday through Friday.
Pardon me.
And,
that's where my days got all mixed up.
Tuesday through Thursday at 5 p.m., and then you can catch Newswave on Fridays at 3 p.m.
Well, the Tigers with a turnover there and down 19. I think the ultimate outcome has been decided. The details of it are still left to be determined.
Yeah, and I think this will be a great opportunity for the Trinity coaches to kind of identify some opportunity, create some offense, defense, down deep on their bench from guys that may not have otherwise played if this game's close.
Jones for three, knocks it down. The assist to Jaden Holden.
Jones says he's not done. He's not going home yet.
Not done, and not going home either is the student section down there. They've stayed the whole way.
I think it's a really good opportunity, though, for the Tigers to prove that they are here till the final whistle. A lot of teams give up at 2 minutes if they're down this big, but it's building that winning culture, and that starts with losing. It starts with those losses that you make a little bit tighter, and then it starts with those wins that you make a little bit tighter, and then you can move on to the wins that are big. But you got to start at the lowest level.
Jeremiah Gibson knocks down a bucket for the Comets. Now Jaden Holden gets one, and it's a three-pointer for Jaden Holden, assisted by Matt Jones. Holden giveth.
Excellent trap right here by the Tigers.
And they've got it. Bloom for three. Short, and the foul is going to go on Gibson. Yes. And the shooter is going to be Jaden Holden. And just like we were talking about, that culture of winning, you're going to lose games. Even the best teams lose. But, fighting your way to the very end, that's what you want to see, especially in a game like this. And a fantastic job so far. The final, I guess maybe here the final 45 seconds so far. So Jeremiah Gibson with his first. I mentioned he knocked down that bucket earlier. Jaden Holden at the line. And knocks that down. Has 7 points on the day. 2 of 2 from downtown. 1 of 1 from the stripe. Everywhere else he's missed. And that one doesn't fall. Rebound to Forrester. Goes out to Gibson. Stolen by Holden. And he steps out of bounds.
Man, what a great steal. Heads-up play by the Tigers. They're not going home. They're making plays. They're not giving up. That's something that, Coach is going to be really excited to see when he watches the tape, that his team is not mailing it in the last 2 minutes. They could have easily just stopped playing, and props to the Tigers for staying with it.
Yeah, and that's going to be an illegal screen on Mansour, but I like what the Tigers did there is switch up the defense. Now they're in man-to-man. Maybe that's something that they need to do going forward, and maybe they need to press a little going forward. You just get a chance as a coach to figure out what things can your team pull off. Even if it wasn't in the original plan, what can you maybe do?
Wow, what a rundown.
Yeah, what a rundown, and I'll give the official credit. He had a good look at it from his side. This didn't sound like it was skin on this. It sounded like he got the ball.
Man, that's one the official missed right there.
Yeah, normally you can hear that. If that was truly a foul on the arm, you would have heard that. Forster would have reacted completely differently than what he did going up. I think he still deserves to go to the line, but it was a great job by Cauliflower. Well, Gibson, Kaiser, Wagbo, Forster, and Mansour in for the Comets. Cauliflower, Yancey, Holden, Specs, and Patterson for the Tigers here under 90 seconds to play. Got a shout out for those watching out in Allen, Texas. Thanks for watching. We've appreciated it. And that one's going to be out of bounds off the Comets. The Tigers ball. 1:09 to play.
Robert Johnson for the Comets.
Yancey's going to let that roll a little bit, save some time. Holden drives and kicks, draws the foul underneath. It's going to be on Gibson again. It is. So, and an opportunity here for the Comets is they've, kind of emptied out the bench there. These guys, these are valuable seconds here of playtime for young players.
Yeah, we talk so much about the work you do in practice, but getting game time is probably the most valuable thing you can give a player. And it really doesn't matter if it's 30 seconds, it doesn't matter if it's 30 minutes. It's really important just to see the floor. Mm-hmm. You can only get so much from the bench, you can only get so much from practice, but just being on the floor, it doesn't matter if it's garbage time.
Yep. And for these players, both teams, the guys on the floor right now are treating this as, it's their time to be noticed. It's their time to get that work in. And, the last 3 minutes here have been just as exciting as the first 37. And that one's going to be out of bounds off the Comets. It's off of Johnson, who's just checked in.
Yeah, so the next opportunity for you to watch Tiger Network is going to be November 21st, 7 p.m. when, again, Trinity men's basketball takes on Howard Payne University, HPU.
Tyler Sawyer checking into the game for Trinity. We were mentioning Media Days. He may have stolen the show at Media Days this year. And Specs with a fantastic finish. You'll have to stay tuned to the Trinity website, as I'm sure some of his Media Day photos are going to start to appear. I just promise you. Nice dunk finish there from Mansour. And Mansour's kind of puts the exclamation point on the victory for the Comets.
Yeah, and that kind of about sums up the Tigers' night tonight here at Calgard Gym.
Patterson in and out. Specs with the board. Goes up. Too much. Specs with the tip and gets it to fall.
Yeah, Josh, you're right.
Specs now with 8 points.
The last 2 minutes have been really exciting. The Tigers have played really great, and unfortunately just couldn't play that way the whole game. For those watching from those fans watching the comments, I'll show you a replay of that last dunk here.
And definitely. So the season opener for both teams, advantage to UT Dallas as they will go 1-0 on the season. Their next game will be versus Rolls-Homan and then at Chicago as they head up to the Windy City. You can catch that this weekend if you are a Comets fan. And as you mentioned, for Trinity, we are at Shriner and then, for Trinity versus Rolls-Homan and at Chicago. Tiger fans can catch that one this weekend. I believe University of Chicago is going to carry that. I saw their soccer match over the weekend. Nice little sports network that they have up there. And then, as you mentioned, Taylor, back home for Howard Payne. For UT Dallas, it's at Shriner on Friday night, and then they start at home next week against Southwestern. So thanks again tuning in to the Tiger Network. Any last thoughts, Sam?
Yeah, I think really the coaches have some work to do, and it really starts with, what went wrong. And what went wrong was that your offense couldn't put up points. Because UTD, this is not a great offensive showing for them. It's 63 points. All right, whatever. It's not a great showing for them. This is a team that can easily score 75. So your defense, it's okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. It'll hold up for you. It's the offense. You got to ask yourself, why are we not getting the shots that we thought we were going to get? Did we think we were going to get a lot of mid-range jumpers and we got them and they didn't go down? Or is it that we thought we were going to get inside shots and outside shots and we didn't get any of those? And when they break down this film, I think what they're going to find is just that they were not good enough at getting player movement and ball movement. You can have ball movement, you can throw the floor this way and that and get nothing out of it because you don't have enough player movement, and you can have player movement and no ball movement and get nothing. You have to have both, and I think what we're going to find when we look at this tape is that they didn't have both.
Yeah, absolutely. And we look down here, it's
this is one of the bright moments for the Tigers. Great floor spacing on this play, and just something that the Tigers really couldn't do the whole game, and just getting out rebounded was a major issue for the Tigers. The inside game was a major problem, and I think that's something that the coaches are gonna have to review when they go back to the tape and see, how do we work on our interior game against these bigger teams, because UT Dallas isn't going to be the biggest team that the Tigers face this year.
No, and so they've got a little bit of time to work on that as they probably travel tomorrow and then face Rolls-Homan on Friday, Sunday against Chicago. And then, Pat Cunningham returns back home. He used to coach at University of Chicago. And then we'll see them next Tuesday against Howard Payne, so another ASC school. Hopefully have some more insight and have some answers by then. So thanks again for tuning in on the Tiger Network. And until next week, we'll see you later.